Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Lee here from TABLETOP Productions, and today I am bringing you, that's right, a Warmachine battle report, and today it is a special one, okay? It is one that we've wanted to do for a while. It is Battle of the Bitches Part 2. I know, I'm excited, you guys should be excited. If you haven't seen the first one, you should check it out on my channel right now. There's the little thumbnail for it. Click on that. That battle report was crazy and fun, all rolled into one. Anyway, moving on, guys, this battle report is brought to you by Tabletop Tyrant. Guys, check them out for all your gaming needs. If you live in England, they do phenomenal deals. It's my local club, and some of the guys that are in this battle report and a part of my channel work there, and it is their local store as well. So check them out. The link is in the description below. Check them out, and thank you, Tabletop, for letting us film there for this battle report. Okay, moving on, we are going to get straight into the army lists, and we're going to start with Cryx, and making her glorious return is Epic Skara, and in her battle group is a Death Ripper and a Scavenger. Now this is possibly the most craziest unit I've ever seen Rich put together. Okay, it is a full unit of Mechana Thralls with 3 Brute Thralls and the Scarlock Thrall attachment. So that is a ton of models in that unit. And then, adding on to that, we're going to add a Necro Surgeon and some Stitch Thralls. That is Rich's points total. That is pretty brutal. Moving on to the next, it is Mike with his Menoth, and he is bringing Harbinger. Yes, Harby is making her debut in this battle report, and in her battle group is a Reckoner, but the units he has taken is a full unit of Choir, a full unit of Zealots, and 3 Racks, and the lovely solo, the High Paladin Darton Vilmon. Yes, that guy, that absolute beast of a guy. And our third and final army is my army, which is the Khador. Mighty Khador, led by Epic Sorcerer, and in her battle group is the Beast 09 and the War Dog, and then the units I bought were the Great Bears and the Widowmakers. We were supposed to have Kurt on this battle report to make it a 4-way, but unfortunately some family circumstances have happened, and I'm praying, and the guys from this channel are praying, that she gets better. But with that being said, guys, we're going to get straight into Battle of the Bitches Part 2, or Volume 2, however you want to call it. It is coming right up. Enjoy. There are no scenarios this week. It is a straight up bloodbath. Who can be the baddest bitch, basically? It's going to be glorious. Okay, Khador, turn 1. Epic Sorcerer keeps all her focus. The Widowmakers activate next, and they're going to move up into some lovely cornfields to give them some high defense bonuses. And as you can see, it's going to be quite comical because I need to use dice to balance these lovely models. Activating next is Beast 09, and he will run up the board. And because he has Heavy Boiler, he does not need to spend focus to run. So get on up there. Sorcerer then activates next and will walk up the board. She'll then cast Boundless Charge on the Great Bears, giving them +2 movement and Pathfinder. And she will camp the rest of her focus. The Great Bears activate next and declare a charge on the Mechana Thralls, and they're going to charge 11 inches. Unfortunately, reading the rules back now, Boundless Charge is only 1 model, so I should have cast it possibly 3 times. So that is our first mistake, guys. There it is on the board. Remember, we make mistakes so you don't have to. And the War Dog then activates next and walks up the board to Sorcerer, ending Khador turn 1. Menoth, turn 1. Harby allocates 1 focus to the Reckoner and keeps 9 for herself. The Reckoner then activates and runs up the board, spending his 1 focus. The Choir activate next and walk up the board, and they start to sing the Hymn of Passage, meaning the Jacks can't be targeted by non-magical ranged attacks for a turn. The Zealots activate next and will use their prayer called Warding, allowing them to be protected by spells, and then guess what? They are going to run up the board. Vilmon then activates next, and he will walk up the board and use his special ability, which is pretty disgusting, because he will forfeit his action to use Impervious Wall, and he's going to be immune to continuous effects, immune to magical attacks, and he can't be knocked down, so he becomes a beast. Harby then activates and decides to run up the board into the forest for some cover, and guess what? She's just going to camp all that 9 focus, and that will end Menoth turn 1. Cryx turn 1. Epic Scar allocates 1 focus to the Scavenger and 1 to the Death Ripper, and keeps 5 for herself. The massive Mechanothral unit activates next and runs up the board. I can't believe Rich put this unit together, it's crazy. The Scarlock Thrall attachment and 3 Brute Thralls, that's just crazy. Such a big unit of mess and craziness. Next to activate is the Necrosurgeon and the Stitch Thralls, and they will run up the board among the Mechanothralls. Next to activate is Dar, and he'll just trot up the board on his horse and his scythe. Epic Scar activates next and walks up the board and will cast Death Ward on Dar, giving him +2 armor. She also then casts Admonition on the Death Ripper. And Admonition, basically, if an enemy model ends 6 inches from target model, it can make a 3-inch maneuver, and then that spell expires. The Death Ripper then activates and runs up the board, spending the 1 focus that it was given. The Scavenger activates last and flies up the board. And, well, what can I say? That is the end of Cryx turn 1. So, turn 1 is in the books. Unfortunately, the footage got lost for our sum-ups of each round, so I'm going to have to do a nice voiceover here. And as you can see, the majority of the armies are going to close in on each other next turn. But it's going to be quite tasty, I think. It's just going to be a bloodbath in the middle. Can't wait to see turn 2.
Elite Clans, his next move.
Boom, boom, click, click, click. I'm not looking forward to this.
Khador turn 2. Epic Sorcerer keeps all her focus. Beast 09 activates next and walks up the board just to get a better position of the battlefield. Epic Sorcerer activates next and walks up behind him and casts Iron Flesh on the Great Bears, giving them a +3 defense but a -1 speed to them, and then she'll camp all 4 focus. The War Dog activates next and advances up to get in front of Sorcerer. The Widowmakers activate and move up a little bit to get a better range on people and, you know, keeping all their defense bonuses. And guess what? That will be the end of Khador turn 2. Menoth turn 2. All hymns and prayers fade away, and Harby allocates 2 focus to the Reckoner. The choir activate next and walk up the board and begin to sing the hymn Battle, giving friendly warjacks a +2 to attack and damage rolls. The Reckoner then activates and walks up the board and targets Beast 09. Needing 3s to hit, Mike boosts the attack just in case, and he hits. Boosting the damage as well, the Reckoner does 4 points of damage to column 6 of the Beast 09. The Zealots activate next and do their prayer of warding again. And the Monolith Bearer will pop his mini feat called Greater Destiny. This grants the whole unit to be immune to any type of damage, unless it comes from a spell or a feat. And as you can see, they'll run up the board. Vilmon activates next and moves up the board with the Zealots and forfeits his action again to do Impervious Wall, making him a beast again for 1 turn. Harby activates next and walks into the woods. Without Pathfinder, she's only going to move 3 inches, but she'll then pull 1 focus from one of the rakes. And does that rake survive? No. And it explodes. And there's nothing eventful that happens from that explosion, but Harbinger pops her feat. So please tell us, Tin Man, what that feat does.
Advancing models that end their movement in the Harbinger's control area and in their movement closer to the Harbinger than they began suffer an unboostable Power 14 fire damage roll.
As you can see, her feat affects all my models and only a few of Rich's, ending Menoth turn 2. Cryx turn 2. Epic Scarra will keep all her focus and upkeep Admonition and Death Ward by using her ability Blood Trade, taking 1 point of damage to upkeep a spell, so she'll suffer 2 points of damage. The Death Ripper then activates and walks up the board and is out of Harby's feat range. The Mechanothralls activate next and they will all walk up the board and they will all be out of Harby's feat range as well. Dar activates next and will trot up the board and use his spell Beyond Death, which is if a living model is in his command range, they suffer -2 to damage rolls for 1 round. Scar is activated next and she walks up the board and she pops her feat. What does her feat do, Tin Man?
So you want to know about Scar's feat there, matey? Well, let me tell you about the Queen of the Broken Coast and what she does in the height of battle. You see, she self-inflicts for 5 points of damage. Up to it, they say. And everything on a large base or smaller affected by this. Why, if it's friendly, it cannot be targeted with attacks or charged. But if it be a foe, well, it cannot make attacks at all. All it can do is stand there, wise-eyed open like this, staring at her great rack the whole time.
And the models affected by her feat are Darg, 3 Mechanothralls, and the Scarlock UA. She then casts for 2 Black Spot On the Great Bears, needing 9s to hit due to Iron Flesh, Rich rolls a 4 and chooses not to boost after the attack because Epic Scar can do that. So instead, Rich tries to cast Blood Rain on the Great Bears this time, and he rolls a 3 and again doesn't boost after the roll. So he then casts Death Ward on the Mechanothralls, so it falls off Dar and it goes on the Mechanothralls, so giving them a +2 armor bonus. The Necrosurgeon then activates with its Stitch Thralls, and they will walk up the board. And the Surgeon will use her Star Action Surgery and heal Skara up by 3 points. So she is back to full health, and that is the end of Cryx turn 2. As you can see, round 2, summary. Unfortunately, again, the audio was annoying in the video that we took. So, as you can see, the armies are getting dangerously close, and it looks like there's going to be some damage in turn 3. Okay, Khador turn 3. Sorcia spends 1 focus to upkeep Iron Flesh on the Great Bears, and the Widowmakers fall over, so we have to sort them out. And then she ends up putting 3 focus on Beast 09. Epic Sorcia then activates and casts Boundless Charge on Beast 09, giving him a +2 movement and Pathfinder, and then she'll pop her feat. And I wonder what that feat does, Tin Man.
Damage to models currently in Sorcia's control area that exceeds the armor and is not immune to cold suffer double damage this turn. The Khador had say so.
With that being said, Beast 09 activates and charges the Reckoner. He has a speed of 9 now and ends up only in reach. But Beast 09 has a reach weapon, and as you can see, he is in reach. And the problem was I moved into Harbinger's feet, so we roll for that and I take no damage. So I roll to hit and I get a double 1. That is an achievement unlocked. But with Sorcia's affinity with Beast 09, I can reroll 1 charged attack roll. So I reroll it, I hit, and I do a whopping 24 damage to column 1 of the Reckoner. I pay for a second attack because I'm only in reach, and I hit, and I do another 10 points of damage, wrecking the Reckoner. I then activate the Widowmakers, but they're out of range.
So yeah, they can't do anything. I think that's my turn done. Eventful as well.
Menoth turn 3. All hymns and prayers fall off/go away, and Harby will keep all her focus. The Zealots activate next and move up the board, positioning themselves for throwing some lovely bombs, and will use their prayer of Revener, giving them a nice boost to attack and damage rolls. And let the bombing commence. So the first Zealot targets the Stitch Thrall out of range, but it diverts onto 2 Mechanothralls. Needing 7s to hit, 1 Mechanothrall dies, and the other dies also. And because the Necrosurgeon is close to it, it gets 2 corpse tokens. The second zealot will throw 1 at Skara, and it is short, but it scatters onto the brute thrall, and yeah, does no damage. The third zealot targets a stitch thrall, and it scatters again onto the Scarlock unit attachment and the stitch thrall. And it kills the stitch thrall and does 1 point of damage to the Scarlock unit attachment. The fourth zealot targets a Mechana thrall miles away, and it diverts onto the Scarlock again, and this bomb unfortunately does no damage to it. The fifth zealot throws at the War Dog. It falls short and diverts onto the Great Bear unit, and unfortunately there's no damage done to one of the Great Bears, but one of them takes 3 points of damage. The sixth zealot throws a bomb at Sorsha. It's out of range and it scatters to nowhere special. The choir activate next and charge/run at Beast 09. And they do no damage to Beast 09, but they block him from Harby. Vilmor activates next and will walk up the board, and he does his star action Stone and Mortar Stance, giving him +5 armor and immune to knockdown. Harby activates next and will cast Fear of God on Beast 09, and if it hits, which it does, he can't receive orders or do any special attacks. She'll then advance up, staying in cover, and cast Cataclysm on the Widowmakers. It's a nasty offensive spell, and it kills 1 automatically, and the blast damage kills another 2. She then pulls 1 focus off a nearby rake, and it doesn't explode. And that will end Menoth turn 3. Cryx turn 3. Skara's feat effect falls off the affected models, and she doesn't upkeep any spells also. So she keeps 4 for herself and puts 3 focus on the Death Ripper. Dar will activate next and will charge Vilmor, and he is in. Needing 6s to hit with his mount, the horse hits, and it does 1 point of damage to Vilmor. Now Durr will activate, needing 6s also, and he does 4 points of damage, killing Vilmor. And because he's a battle wizard, he can cast a free spell if he kills a model. And he casts Hellfire on the Zealot's Monolith Bringer, and it hits the bearer and kills the bearer. The Necrosurgeon and the Stitch Thralls will activate next and walk up the board. She'll then spend 2 corpse tokens to bring in 2 Mechana Thralls. The Mechana Thralls then activate and charge into the Zealots, and they reposition a little bit with some of the other Mechana Thralls. And with all the attacks, 2 Zealots bite the dust, and one of the Great Bears took 2 points of damage from the Scarlock because of him being a battle wizard and casting after killing. Epic Scar activates next and moves up the board and has 2 focus to cast Perdition. The spell does the following. If an enemy model is destroyed, a Warjack in the model's battle group will get a full advance, and he casts it on the Zealot. Because they're close to the node, he hits and kills the Zealot, so the Death Ripper makes a full advance and stays out of the Zealot's melee range. Scar then uses her hand cannon and targets the wounded Great Bear, needing 11s to hit. He rolls an 8 and will boost after the dice is rolled, and he rolls a 5, so it hits, and he rolls, low, but again he boosts the damage to kill the Great Bear, but he has to do a tough check, and he fails, so he dies. The Death Ripper will walk up and be in base to base with Sorcia. His first attack misses, and Rich won't boost because he'll still miss. So he buys another attack and misses, but boosts after the roll and still misses. So he buys one more attack and unfortunately misses again. The Scavenger flies over but isn't in full range to protect Scar, and that will end Cryx turn 3. End of turn 3, there was finally some death. Some death for Menoth, some death for Khador, and some death for Cryx. But as you can see, Scar is a little bit open, Harby's a little bit open, so can the Khador player, which is me, take full advantage of this? Okay, Khador turn 4. The first thing we need to do is the Widowmakers have to make a command check, and they fail, so they're not going to do anything this turn. So Epic Sorcia will allocate 2 focus to Beast 09 and keep 4 for herself. Sorcia will activate then and cast Boundless Charge on the Great Bears for 2 focus. Again, I forgot that rule. And then she'll cast Cyclone on herself, giving her a free advance, and she ignores free strikes because of this. So she ends up there, and then she'll walk up to the Choir of Menoth. She is in reach and will try to clear the way for Beast 09, and she needs a 7 to hit, and we'll just hear some of the audio.
Patrick 13.
Patrick 13. So she would die, but Harvey's going to martyrdom and keep the choir member alive. For D3 damage points, Harvey suffers
I'm dead.
1 damage.
I'm dead at this turn.
Bosh.
Yeah, I'm dead. Mike's won this game. I completely forgot about martyrdom.
The Great Bears will activate next and will charge Epic Scar. This is completely broken because we didn't know the spell. But anyway, 1 is in, but the Scarlock Thrall has reach. So one of them stays in his arc. They both use backswing for their attack, and the first charge attack misses. The second hits, though, and does 8 points of damage to Scar. The second Great Bear attacks. His first attack misses again, but the second attack hits.
Yes.
Washed.
Oh. Scar dies.
Never mind.
So I get my revenge on that bitch. But now I'm dead. So I got my revenge on Scar, but I forgot about martyrdom, so Sorcia's dead, so Mike's probably going to get a win now.
So Beast 09 takes out his frustration on the 2 choir members. The first one hits and dies instantly, and then I buy another attack. The second one hits, it dies, and that is the end of Khador turn 4. Menoth turn 4. First off, Fear of God falls off Beast 09, and Harby will upkeep all her focus to smash Sorsha in the face. Harby activates and will pull the last point of focus off the rack, and that will explode. She then declares a charge on Sorsha. Even with a -2 movement due to being in the woods, she is still in. And the first attack auto hits because of her auto hitting melee weapon, and I'll let Mike take it from here. 15.
So, -1.
-1, charge, auto hitting because she's a bitch.
Oh yes, Kurt.
I forgot about martyrdom.
Yeah, martyrdom's wicked.
-1, bring it to that 6.
That's 12 points.
12 points already, so yeah, that's the first attack. She's pretty much... Yeah, she's got 5 left after this. Buying another attack with all that frickin' focus still.
Right, so -1.
-1. Pull it together. -1, that does 7. Killing Sorsha.
That's 8.
This is why you don't mess with Christians, man.
And then this is the biggest, baddest bitch. In round 2?
And so that is it. Menoth win. We only got a few rules wrong, but Mike, well done. Menoth win again on this channel. Now guys, if you enjoyed this battle report, please leave a like. It is much appreciated. Leave comments below to see what rules we might have done wrong. The only ones we can think of the top of our heads was that boundless charge thing. But please leave a like, leave your comments below, and yeah, guys, it has been a phenomenal, fun battle report. We've got one coming in February, which will be amazing, trust me. If you've seen Pacific Rim, that's the name, Pacific Rim, you probably can guess what's going to be coming. There it is, a colossal / gargantuan, possibly, battle report. Just those guys and their warcasters. It's going to be fun. Trust me, you need to watch that. And if this is the first time you've ever watched any of our battle reports, guys, click on the screen right now to view our battle reports. Also, click on the screen now if you want to subscribe. Click on the screen if you want to view our channel. And yeah, guys, until next time, take care, have a good one. Thank you, Tabletop Tyrant, again for letting us to film there. Check them out, guys. They're in the description below. And yeah, until next month, take care, have a good one.